Hello again. So in the previous lecture, I tell you that we should have a button called uplink configuration in this place. So right here, this is an example, a screenshot from another cluster that have multiple hosts. So here you can see that we have the option uplink because this different host connected to the real physical switch. So we can configure the uplink of the different hosts. So right here we have this configuration of the uplink. This configuration will apply to every host. Any OVS configuration will be changed. So this configuration configure the different hosts at the same time to use the same configuration. You cannot configure the active backup in host 1 and then active in the second host. You have one configuration for the file cluster. So for that, we have the uplink configuration without lag. That means we don't use the lag technology. In this situation, we have two options. We have the active backup and the active with MAC pinin. So the active backup, that means one adapter in the band is active. Additional adapter acts as a backup until the active adapter file. Link aggregation must not be configured in the connection switch. So right here, this technology, we use it when we want to use the redundancy. That means we use one network adapter for connection and the second one as a backup in case we have a problem with the first network adapter or the cable or the switch or anything that will let this node lose connection with the environment. So he will try to use the second network adapter and send the traffic through the second network adapter. Then we have the active with MAC pinin. So in this situation, all adapters in the band are active. Source MAC addressing are periodically rebalancing among adapters based on the network load. Link aggregation must not be configured on the connected switch. So this is the idea of the second option. Then we have the active with lag. That means require a lag configuration. All adapters in the band are active. Traffic is balancing among adapters based on the TCP and UDP port. Then we need to active the link aggregation and LACP must be configured on the connected switch. So this is the different option that we have in the uplink configuration: the active backup, the active with MAC pinin, and the active with the lag configuration. And of course, here you chose the network configuration to choose the 10 GB or the other network adapter. So this is the idea of the uplink configuration. So right here, if we check this explanation of the different uplink configuration, you see right here the active backup. It's work like this diagram right here. That means we use one Ethernet to send all the traffic, the host, the CVM, the virtual machine 1, the virtual machine 2, virtual machine 3, etc. All the traffic of the data will send through this network adapter, the physical network adapter, to the switch 1. Of course, in another node, the active one will send it to the switch 2 or switch 1 by balancing the network through the different switch. So right here, the active backup host and network default Nutanix recommended for EHV. That means if you use a EHV hypervisor, this is the recommended one and the default one that's created when you deploy your cluster. So the pro of this configuration is easy to set up, no special switch configuration necessary. Then the cons is the host limited to one uplink at time. That means in this situation, all the traffic will go through one uplink. And if we have an overloading of the data transfer, we'll have only one uplink that use it to manage all this file traffic. Then we have the active MAC pinin. It's also called balancing SLB. Is the same idea of the active. In this situation, it is not recommended for EHV. The pro of this situation is a good bandwidth for hosts because in this situation, we'll use one network adapter for the host and the CVM traffic and the other network adapter for the different virtual machine. That means when we create virtual machine, it will start use this network. Then if we create a new virtual machine, it will choose to use this network or this network. So it will separate the two network adapter for the different virtual machine we have in this host, and one of them will be used by the CVM and the host. In this situation, we have a good bandwidth between the node and the network because we have a double speed. In this situation, if we use a 10 gigabyte Ethernet port, that means the speed of the bandwidth in this node is only 10 gigabytes with the network. But in this situation, we have two network adapters use it, so we have a total of the 20 gigabyte speed bandwidth between the node and the network. So this is the benefit of using this active MAC pinning, but the consequence is VM on a single link. That means when we lost this link, we lost the connection to the virtual machine available in this node. And the same idea, if we lost this network adapter, we going to lose the connection to the hypervisor and to the CVM. Then we have the third configuration, the active by using the LAG LACP. So in this idea right here, we have a balancing between the two different network adapter. That means we'll balance the traffic between the two network adapter, and in case we lost one of the network adapter, we still have another one available that we can send the file traffic through it. In this situation, you will need more switch configuration. That means you need to configure the different switch with the VCP, MLIG, and LACP, and it is a complexity environment that need more configuration and more attention to your environment. You need to test the file bug. That means you kill this switch and test if your traffic that exists in this adapter should forward to the other adapter or to the other switch. Then you get back your switch and see if your traffic will get back to the switch and the balancing between the network adapter, and the same idea for the second switch. So it is a little complicated to manage your environment that using the configuration active with LAG. So this is the idea of it. The pro of this configuration is the best bandwidth for host and VM. You have a best bandwidth for the host and the virtual machine because it uses double network. But in case we lost one of them, the one that's still available can handle all the traffic on the data of the different virtual machine. This technology need a switch configuration and a test of the filer of any switch to see if your configuration is work perfectly. So this one, it's look like similar to this one, but here when we have a filer in a network adapter, the second one will work without any problem. But in this situation, is look the same of this one, but when we have a filer in a network adapter, we lose the connection to the different virtual machine that use this network adapter and will be out of the service. So this is the different host link aggregation that we can configure in our uplink adapter. So see you in the next lecture to discover more.